Yo, yo, what up? It's your boy PK, the bold nigga. The bold nigga, man. Yeah. What up, man? Welcome to my first ever brand new YouTube channel, man. The African Mystic. Hope you subscribe to it, man. Hope you subscribe to it. So, yeah, man. It took me quite a long time to actually decide to say, you know what, let me just make a YouTube channel or something like that. Because I feel like there's too many channels coming out, man. There's too many, like, too much copy and paste, like too much copy and paste, man. So I feel like if I do this, it's gotta be straight from the heart, right? It's gotta be straight from the heart, and it's gotta be relatable. It's gotta impact lives in a way, because man, like, I'm evolving, I'm growing, I'm evolving, and I'm experiencing. So I've kind of like come to realize life, what really life is. And a part of life, a lot of it is compassion and, doing for others and, making people's lives joyful and, fun, easy, you know. So that's actually what life is. So yeah, man, it's my brand new channel, man. The African Mystic. You gotta stay woke. That's the motto, man. You gotta stay woke, guys. You gotta stay woke. There's a lot of bullshit happening in the world. There's a lot of things, and what we gotta do is change our minds, man. We gotta change our minds. We gotta reprogram ourselves because the Western philosophy, the way we came up, man, it hasn't been working. Not saying that it ain't done certain things for us, it ain't helped us, in civilization and stuff, but now shit is just getting crazy, Now they just taking advantage. Like the way it's evolved, it, it, it's not evolving in a proper way, It's not evolving for the good with technology, especially social media. I don't even want to talk about social media, man. Like so much bullshit going on in this world, and that's the main reason you gotta stay woke, baby. You gotta stay woke, man. You gotta stay woke. You gotta stay woke, right? So, first things first, today I just won't be such a long video because what I'm basically gonna do here is I'm gonna do a couple of vids, probably, I don't know, 8, 10 maybe. And depends on whatever I talk about. It just depend. So I'm gonna just do this, and then I'm just gonna put them all out together, and then you can get access to them, and then hopefully they are helpful in a way, you know. So first things first, today I just something came to my head was like this concept, this notion of God, right? What is God like? What comes to your mind when you hear the word? Like when somebody asks you what is God? Do you believe in God and stuff like that? So taking into account the way we came up, like through Christianity and religion as a whole, its influence in civilization and just overall our evolution as human beings, right? So for me personally, like growing up, I wasn't really a church kid, like I never really liked going. Sometimes, well, my aunt would take me to church, but like my heart wasn't really into going to church. I sort of like I enjoyed maybe playing sports. I just always enjoyed being playful. I felt like church shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be forced, sort of, or yeah, sort of like you shouldn't be compelled to go to church just because maybe your parents go to church or something. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like that radical mindset I sort of always had as a kid. And now when I look back and I say that was kind of actually like, that was kind of like leading me to the direction that I'm at now, because I was a naughty as kid growing up, but I grew up to be, as loving and humble as a church mouse. You know what I mean? But it's so when I look back at that and I say, but still I was always like sort of that guy, because it was weird being a kid and not liking going to church, or you mind going to church when maybe your parents are saying you. It's really weird when you're sort of like that as a kid. But for me, it turned out great. So coming back to the issue of Christianity, religion, and God, and yeah. So in religious terms, Christianity, of course, yeah, the Bible and everything, and But for me now, fast forward growing up, because there's a point in my life when I felt, yeah, maybe God is, there's somebody there called God out there. The way it was portrayed, it was sort of like you'd sometimes literally take it in an abstract way, because it was just sort of, yeah, it was sort of abstract, and you take it in an abstract way. But fast forward now, when I started to do my own research and just overall grow as a man and develop my perception as a human being, not just as a man but as a human being. So as I evolved, and then I was doing, like, I was reading a bit of mysticism, from Eastern mysticism, so to speak. So I was doing a bit of research on that, and there was one gentleman I stumbled upon, Sadhguru. He's a bearded Indian man who's a mystic as well. He's a mystic. Like, I'm just starting the journey. I'm like, I'm in, like, maybe if I was at school, I'd probably be in, like, third grade. I'm still really growing in this spiritual path, this path rather, spiritual path, right? So I'm still growing in the spiritual path, this enlightenment phase of my life. Really, it's just the beginning, and it's such a. I'm really glad, like, my life. Although sometimes I was going through certain things that you feel like, why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? But I feel like everything that happens leads you to something great. Leads you to certain lessons, because the lessons, you can't exchange them for anything. You might have forgotten something that could have brought you in a lot of money, but as long as you learn something from that, that's the major thing, because then that sharpens, or kind of impacts your perception, which is the main important thing in life, right? So going back to the issue of God, right? You'll forgive me, I keep going around touching on that, because that's how things are in life. Things are all connected. It's all one, right? It's all one. It's all complementary and not so divided like it seems to be, or it's said to be, or it's portrayed to be, right? So coming to the issue of God. So one thing that I feel, sort of, religion is very important, mind you. It's very important, but it's one thing I have a problem with is the way religion has sort of evolved, the way it's evolved. In my head, just earlier, I was like, religion evolved to now, religion in its normal terms, like, I could imagine, like, when it was first maybe conceived, or when it started off, it was a practice to probably, like, improve your spirituality, enlightenment, and all that, right? But now it's grown to become an institution, sort of. And from now being an institution, now in this day and age, now what you see with these fake prophets and all these things, it's now gone from that just being an institution like government, and you know to now it's now corporate. You've got guys that are speaking, that are using this concept of religion to now make money, to now get rich, and to exploit people, and poor people in some instances. So it's kind of sad the way religion has sort of evolved, but that's not the case for today. So now, coming back to my issue of what is a God. So one thing I feel that was, they sort of like wasn't taught to us, at least through this practice of religion and Christianity. I'll say Christianity mainly because my country where I'm from, Botswana, is predominantly Christianity, right? But although we have other religions, but it's predominantly, especially the black population, the indigenous peoples, primarily. Take a breath. Yeah, it's primarily Christianity, right? So one thing I feel they fail to tell us is, what is God? God for me, now when I look at it, God is knowledge, God is intelligence, God is wisdom, right? God is within you. Like, it's not, you don't really need the Bible all the time to say that I can speak to God. Like, you are God. You walk with God. You literally, you touch God. You're with God all the time, right? So God is intelligence, it's knowledge, it's wisdom. And what's the important thing with intelligence is, one thing with intelligence, or at least the way intelligence should be, it should be infinite. Like, at its essence, at its core, it should be infinite. Like, it's unlimited, right? Like, intelligence is unlimited. Like, now when you're wise, when we say wisdom, that's beyond now, right? That's beyond. So that's one thing that I feel should be taught to people, that especially when it comes to the issue of God. Like, I can't tell you that God is, I can't really explain to you what God is, because your God, my God, it's not the same. Essentially, it's not the same, but it's one thing. It's oneness, right? But I can't really tell you what God is, but I can only tell you it's wisdom. And how do you fulfill or reach that wisdom, or get that wisdom? Earlier I was saying perception. Like, perception. Like, religion is now what Sadhguru says, or calls, he says now, spirituality and all these important aspects of our life, they're now just scriptural dictums. They're just things that people speak. We treat them in a sort of like their trends and fashions. We don't really take them for what they are and what they actually mean, right? So that's God for me, to be honest. That's God for me. Like, perception. And one thing that I'm learning as well is, life in life, you're not your thoughts. You're not your experiences. Those things that you go through, those are just experiences. And even your body, you're not your body, right? You're not your body. Like, especially in Africa, when you talk of this, they say you're crazy because you're not your body. What the hell do you mean? Because we sort of like I said again, it goes back to, I still blame it on Western philosophy and the way we were cultured through this Western way. Like, it's so physical, it's so material, it's so into the mortal instead of the immortal. It's, and all these things, what do they lead to? They lead to something called fear, man. And fear is a bitch, I'm telling you. Fear is a bitch. Like, fear is, that's the major tool that Western philosophy and the whole global order system, capitalist system, whatever you call it, elites, whatever, all that, man, the major tool they use is fear. They inflict fear upon you through all these things. Through all these things, that's how they they sort of control you, right? So, guys, this is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning of my channel. Probably on the next episode, I'll probably have something bit more organized, not going all over the place. So as I was saying, but before I just remembered one thing as I was saying, like, so I was saying, as we have this approach in life of, like I said, you're not your thoughts, you're not your experiences. We have this approach in life of, you know, of being discriminatory in life, like, you know, man, woman, feminine, masculine, what else? Um, he's important, she's not important, that's important, that's not important. Like, I could imagine life at its essence, at its beginning phase, at its core phase, before when it was still pure, like before it got all contaminated. Everything was what it was, Nothing was categorized or classified or anything like that. These are just representations that we have in our minds, right? So when a thought comes to your head, simply take it for what it is. It's a thought, right? So what happens now is we're trapped, we're living in a prison of our thoughts, where we live in the past, we live in the future, something that hasn't happened. It's already, you're thinking about it. Something that happened a couple of years back, it's still affecting you, right? Of course, it's memory, you can't forget that, but just don't add emotion to it. Just take it as a thought. Simply take it as a thought, Take it as simply for what it is, right? So, yeah, man. First episode, man. Like the page, the African mystic. You gotta stay woke, man. You gotta stay woke. You gotta stay woke, man. Bless you, fam. Bless you. I love y'all. Share the love, man. Spread the love. Spread the knowledge. Wisdom. Out.